Hi students, Callie Daniels here. In this video we are going to take a look at some radical notation and simplify some radicals. Beginning with radical notation, this little number sitting on the ledge of your radical, again we call the index. The symbol itself is the radical. And then this expression underneath the radical we call the radicand. Sounds funny, doesn't it? Remember that radical notation for a to the 1 over n is an nth root. If a is a real number, n is a positive integer, and a to the 1 over n is a real number, then it is true that the nth root of a can be written as a to the 1 over n, and vice versa. Additionally, radical notation for a to the m over n. Let a be a real number, m an integer, n a positive integer, and the nth root of a real number. And if that's true, then we can use these rules. Notice that the number in the denominator is our index. The number in the numerator of the exponent is the power. We can take the root first and then the power, or we can raise it to a power first and then the root. Typically, it's going to be more efficient to take the root first. If we look at classroom example 1, we want to write each root using exponents and then evaluate. The cubed root of 27 is 27 to the 1/3 power, and that is 3, because 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. The negative of the 4th root of 10,000, we can write that as 10,000 to the 1/4 power with a negative symbol out in front. This is asking what number times itself four times is 10,000. That is 10. And don't lose your negative symbol. Part C, the cube root of negative 216. Notice here the negative symbol is under the radical. And so it is involved in the roots. So we would write negative 216 in parentheses to the 1/3 power. And that answer is negative 6. Because negative 6 times negative 6 times negative 6 is a negative 216. Part D, the 4th root of negative 81 is negative 81 to the 1/4 power. And that is asking what number times itself 4 times is going to result in a negative outcome. And that is not going to happen. Your result here is not a real number, because there is no real number that when multiplied times itself an even number of times will result in a negative. It'll always result in a positive number. Part E, 125 over 512 to the 1/3 power. And that is a 5/8. Lastly, part F, that's the negative of negative 243 to the 1/5 power. And the 5th root of a negative 243 is negative 3. Don't forget your negative symbol out in front of that. This is saying, well, the opposite of negative 3 is positive 3. Now let's turn the page and look at classroom example 2. Here we go. And in this example, we want to write in radical form and evaluate if possible. We're going to assume all variable expressions are positive real numbers so that we can take the square roots, for example, of positive numbers. 16 to the 3/4 is asking, hey, what's the 4th root of 16 to the third power. That's 2 to the third power, or 8. In part B, we've got the quantity negative 64 to the 2/3 power. This is asking for the cube root of negative 64 squared. That's negative 4 squared, or 16. Part C, this is the negative of the square root of 121 raised to the third power. It's the negative of 11 to the third power, which is a negative 1331 as we evaluate that. Part D, here we've got a variable. Don't let that stop you. We're looking for the 8th root of y to the 7th, or you could write that as the 8th root of y to the 7th under the radical, suggesting that we raise it to the 7th first and then take the root. Part E, that is a 7 times the 5th root of z to the 4th. Then moving on to example 3, converting from radicals to rational exponents. We're going to write in exponential form. Assume all variable expressions represent positive real numbers. So it's going to turn the process around here. In part A, that is n to the 3/7. In part B, that's 10x, quantity to the 1/4 power. And in part C, that is a 15 times r to the 4/3. And there we have some examples of simplifying radical expressions.